Hello students, today we are going to do The Three Cascades by William Shakespeare. In that, we are going to do Act 3, Scene 2. Portia wants Bassanio to get the task right, so she asks him to take his time and wait a day or two because if he chooses incorrectly, Portia will lose him. He will have to go, Bassanio will have to go from there. She would like to keep him with her for a couple of months if she could before he makes his choice. She could tell him what the right casket is, but she has sworn not to, so she has taken an oath that she will not tell anyone which the right casket is. So he may make the wrong choice, and if he does, Portia says she will wish that she had sinned and broken her oath. If he chooses the wrong casket. She knows she's talking too much, but she's doing that to make time last longer, to keep him from making a decision. So, she's going on talking. What is the reason for that talking? That, Bassanio spends more time there. She wants him to be there. That's why she's talking too much before he could make any decision. This scene takes place in Portia's house in Belmont. The characters present there are Bassanio, Portia, Gritano, Nerissa, and all the servants. All their trains means all the servants. Bassanio loves Portia and Portia returns his love. Portia is of course worried, as is Bassanio. So Bassanio and Portia both are worried because if he chooses the wrong casket, then he has to go back. He cannot marry Portia. I pray you tarry. Tarry means wait. So Portia is requesting Bassanio to wait. Pause a day or two. Wait for a day or two. Before you hazard for. That means before you take the risk. Risk of what? Choosing the casket. In choosing wrong, I lose your company. So she's saying if you choose, you make a wrong choice, then I will lose your company. You will have to go from here. Therefore, forbear a while. That means have patience for a while. Wait for a while. I would detain you here some month or two. That means I would ask you to stay here for a month or a two before you venture for me. Before you venture for me means before you try to win me. I could teach you how to choose right. So she's saying I could give you the training of how you have to choose the casket, the right casket. But then I'm forsworn. But then she's thinking to herself, Portia, that she is bound by an oath. That is, her father had made her take an oath before that she will not reveal the casket which has her portrait in it to anyone. Means, so I will be be here is for forsworn. Portia wishes here that she had never taken an oath. So may you miss me. That means so you might miss me. But if you do, you will make me wish a sin. So, and she's saying if you lose and if you do not choose the right casket, you will make me wish a sin. She will, at that point of time, she will wish that she had not been, that I had been forsworn. That means she had not been forsworn. She had not taken an oath. At that point of time, if Bassanio chooses the wrong casket, then she would wish for that, I speak too long, but it is to peace the time. So she's saying, I'm speaking for a long time. It is only to prolong the time, so that she can have more time with Bassanio. To eke it. To eke it means to increase the time that they are together. And to draw it out in length means to stretch out to stay you from election. That means to hold you back from choosing the right casket. Children, this is page number 137 in your book. This is page number 138 in your book. Bassanio, let me choose, for as I am I live upon the rack. Now children, rack here is an instrument of torture consisting of a frame, a wooden frame on which people were stretched until they confessed their crimes. So Portia here is she's stretching out the time. So he says, do not stop me because I am on a frame. I am on the rack. You are stretching out the time and this is like a torture to me, he's saying. Portia, away then, I'm locked in one of them. She says, go and choose. I'm locked. My portrait is locked in one of the caskets. She means that if he really loves her, then definitely he will find the right casket, choose the right casket. Nerissa and the rest stand all aloof. Portia is telling Nerissa and all the rest of them, all the rest of the servants, to stand all aloof means stand out of the way. Let music sound while he doth make his choice. She asks for music to be played while he makes his choice. Then, if he lose, he makes a swan-like end. The Elizabethans thought that the swan sings only once just before its death. Then if he loses, he will at least have a swan-like end, dying with the song. Like the swan, before it dies, it sings only once. They believe that. So even he will have his death like that while the music is being played. And to make the comparison even better, she will cry a river for him to swim and drown in. Fading in music that the comparison may stand more proper, my eyes shall be in the stream and watery deathbed for him. Fading music will accompany his end, like the swan that sings while it is about to die. So her tears are going to make a stream in which he will drown and he will die. Now dying is not in real sense, dying as in they cannot meet anymore. Bassanio, so may the outward shows at least themselves. Bassanio here is reasoning like other suitors. This is a monologue. He is talking to himself. Appearance belies themselves means not at all what they appear to be. So it means extra show has no value. He looks at the caskets and says this. The world is still deceived with ornaments. The world here refers to the people, and this line means the people are always deceived by the ornaments. Here ornaments refers to anything that is showy and catches your attention. In law, what place so tainted and corrupt, but being seasoned with a gracious voice? This means in the court of law, a case plea here means a case which is bad and dishonest. Seasoned with means covered up with. A gracious voice means covered up by an eloquent language. By a fine lawyer who has a pleasant voice. Obscure the show of evil. He might cover up the face of the evil, so this lawyer who is very good at talking will cover up a dishonest case with his eloquence, that is the art of speaking. This means there is no simple voice which does not have or does not assume some outward appearance of virtue, some mark of virtue on his outward parts. How many cowards whose hearts are all as false as stairs of sand wear yet upon their chins? Here Bassanio says how many cowards with heart are unreliable as staircase which is built on sand. If you build a staircase on sand, it is unreliable, as when you keep a step on it, instead of climbing up, you will go down. So he says some people who are cowards keep a beard to resemble like Hercules, the god of strength, and frowning Mars, the god of wars. They have a beard like Hercules and a frown like Mars to hide their covered eyes, and so people keep away from them. That is why it is said looks are deceptive and we should never judge a book by its cover. Who inward searched have livers white as milk. Bassanio says if we search beneath the surface, they might be having livers as white as milk. The Elizabethans thought the liver is the seat of courage. Hence, white-livered means a coward. A brave man's liver is said to be red with blood. They thought a brave man had a red liver while a coward had a white one. And these assumes a valier's excrement, and people assume that looking at beard that they are brave. Look on beauty and you shall see it is purchased by the weight, which therein works a miracle in nature, making them lightest that wear most of it. Beauty here means cosmetics. He means you will see here that cosmetics can be brought from a shop which works miracles in nature by making those who wear it most become the lightest. That is a pun. Lightest means here by looks fairer. As their appearance changes, they look beautiful. And by character, as they try to hide the real looks under loads of makeup. Thus ornament is but a gilded shore to a most dangerous sea, in a word. This means ornament means outward adornment. So Bassanio here compares ornaments to a dangerous shore which looks shallow, but when you go down you come to know it's very deep, and so are ornaments. If you trust ornaments, then you are going to get the shock of your life. The seeming truth which cunning times put on to entrap the wisest. Seeming truth means a false appearance of truth. Cunning time means crafty people. Here he means this is the appearance of truth which clever people put on to make a trap for the wisest people to fall into it. Many times wise people get deceived by outward appearance. Therefore, though gaudy gold, hard food for Midas, I will none of thee. So therefore he rejects the gold casket. He called gold hard food for Midas. Hard because it was a solid food which King Midas could not eat. Now Midas was a wealthy king in Greek mythology who desired that all things he touched should be turned into gold. The request was granted, but as even the food he touched became gold, he asked Dionysus to take the favor back, which the god did. Will none of thee means will not have anything to do with you. Thou pale and common drudge. You pale silver casket, and common drudge means ordinary slave. So he rejects silver casket also. But though meager lead. Though meager lead means you are unattractive lead, which rather threatest than dost promise aught, means who threats rather than promises. Now he says it is the inscription actually written on the casket. The paleness moves me more than eloquence. He says to lead that your blunt message inspires me more than eloquent words of gold and silver. Inscription. As Bassanio is a lover, so ready for any risk, any time. And here choose I, joy be the consequence. And here choose I means I am choosing now, joy be the consequence means the outcome should be joyous. Portia aside, that means she is talking to herself. She says, how all the other passions flee to air as doubtful thoughts and rash embrace despair and shuddering fear and green-eyed jealousy. O love, be moderate, ally thy ecstasy. Here, Portia is very excited. This she talks to herself. Portia says, how all the emotion vanish in the air, such as feelings of doubt, rashly conceived absence of hope, and shuddering fear means shivering fear, and green-eyed jealousy has been personified. Green was associated with jealousy. Jealousy is personified here and said to be a monster with green eyes. Then she says, O thou God of love, be calm and do away with strong emotion. In measure, rain thy joy, scant this excess, I feel so much thy blessing. Make it less, for fear I surfeit. In measure means in moderation. Rain thy joy means shower your joy. Scant this excess means restrain this excess of joy. I feel too much thy blessings. She says, I feel your blessing is too much for me to bear. She says, make it less, otherwise I should suffer from your excessive blessing. That means you have blessed me too much. I cannot bear this much of happiness. Bassanio opening the leaden casket. So he's opening the lead casket now because he has chosen that. What find I here? So he's saying, what am I going to get here? Fair Portia's counterfeit. That is he's going to get. He got fair Portia's picture. What demigod hath come so near creation? That means the artist must be almost a divine person because he had made a picture which is so lively. He's talking about Portia's picture. Move these eyes. Do the eyes move? Or whether riding on the balls of mine seem they in motion? Or whether it is that because they seem to be fixed, riding means fixed, on my own eyeballs, they seem to be moving. He's not sure whether they are moving. He's not able to make out. Here are severed lips. Severed lips means parted lips. Parted with sugar breath. Parted with sugar breath. Sugar breath means sweet breath. There is a sweet fragrance coming, he feels. So sweet a bar. So he's saying it's so sweet, but it is a barrier. Yet, look how far this shadow doth limp behind the substance. He means, yet see to what extent the words of my praise does injustice to, that is her portrait, by underestimating it. In the same way, the portrait falls short of the original, that is Portia herself. Here is the scroll, the contentment and summary of my fortune. Continent here means container. So he's saying this is the scroll and this is the summary of my fortune. It is the container of my fortune where my fortune is held. So he reads aloud what is written in the scroll. You that choose not by view, chance as fair and choose as true. Chance as fair and choose as true. Since this fortune falls to you, be content and seek no new. If you be well pleased with this and hold your fortune for your bliss, turn to where your lady is and claim her with a loving kiss. This means that you are one who doesn't go by outer appearance. Chance as fair means may you be fortunate. And choose as true means may you always choose as well. The way you have chosen now, you always choose the same way in your life. Since this fortune falls on you means you have been fortunate enough. Be content and seek no new. Means be happy with what you have and don't go on having affairs with any other woman. If you be well pleased with this and hold your fortune for your bliss, turn to where your lady is and claim her with a loving kiss. Means if you are happy with what you have got, then go to her, hold her for your happiness, turn towards your lady and claim her with a loving kiss. A gentle scroll, fair lady, by your leave. It means, what a nice scroll, fair lady, if you will permit me. I come by note to give and to receive. He means as directed by what's written on the scroll, to give and receive a kiss. Like one or two contending in a prize that thinks he had done well in people's eyes. Hearing applause and universal shout. He says, I'm like someone who has competed for a prize and thinks that everyone's applause and shouts are for his success. Giddy in spirit will still gazing in a doubt. He says he is giddy with excitement and is looking around in some doubt. Whether those peal of praise be his or no. Bassanio says he is not quite sure because he is so stunned and is not certain whether all his praise is for him or not. So thrice, fair lady, stand I even so. It means, so that's how I feel now, beautiful lady, but 3 times more intense. As doubtful whether what I see be true until confirmed, signed, ratified by you. It means I can't be sure of whether what I see is true until it is confirmed, signed, verified and approved by you. Portia, you see me, Lord Bassanio, where I stand, such as I am. Portia means you see me as I am, in reality standing here, Lord Bassanio. Though for myself alone I would not be ambitious in my wish, to wish myself much better, yet for you I would be trebled 20 times myself, 1,000 times more fair, 10,000 times more rich. Portia, she wishes that she were 20 times better than herself. She says she is not so ambitious as to wish that just for herself, but for Bassanio she wishes she were 1,000 times more beautiful and 10,000 times richer. She is modest. These lines shows you that. In contrast to Bassanio is a spendthrift and he lives on borrowed money. As for Portia herself, she is satisfied as how she is, but for Bassanio she would be 20 times better, she says. That only to stand high in your account I might in virtues, beauties, living, friends, exceed account. Here Portia is giving a lot of importance to Bassanio, though he is nothing, neither rich nor a duke. She says only in order to stand high in Bassanio's estimation. She wants to become more virtuous, more beautiful, richer, and have influential friends so that she could stand high in Bassanio's estimation. But the full sum of me is sum of something which to term in gross is an unlessoned girl, unschooled, unpracticed. To term in gross means expressed at best, unpracticed means inexperienced. She means here, but the sum total of myself is the total of something which may be expressed at best, as an inexperienced, untrained and having no education. Happy in this, she is not yet so old. She says she is fortunate in this aspect that she is not yet too old to learn. As old people find it difficult to learn new things, but she is not old that she cannot learn. Myself and what is mine to you and yours is now converted. She says myself and all that is mine is now yours. I give them with this ring. So she's saying she gives all what she had with the ring to him while they are getting engaged. Which when you part from, lose or give away, let it be presaged that the ruin of your love and be my vantage to exclaim on you. This means if you lose it or give it away to anyone else, then I will consider it a sign that you don't love me anymore. Your love for me is dead, and it will give me the opportunity to access you of being witless. After this, she gives Bassanio the ring. Bassanio, madam, you have bereft me of all words. Bassanio is saying to Portia that you have deprived me of all words. I am speechless, but my blood, which is running in my veins, is speaking to you. That is, only my blood speaks to you in my veins. And there is such confusion in my powers. He says there is confusion in my thoughts. Powers means thoughts. As after some oration fairly spoke by a beloved prince, there doth appear among the buzzing pleased multitude. Buzzing means murmuring. Pleased here means delighted. Oration fairly spoke means well derived, delivered speech. Multitude means audience. It means, and there is so much confusion in my mind, like the one that follows after an eloquent speech of a beloved prince among a murmuring, delighted audience, where every something being blent together turns to a wild of nothing, save of joy expressed and not expressed. It means where every feeling blended together produces a wild confusion expressing nothing but joy, which cannot find any expression, and yes, yet it expresses. But when this ring parts from this finger, then parts life from hence. Bassanio says, I will never part from this ring. It will leave my fingers only when I die. Oh, then be bold to say Bassanio's dead. Means, then feel free to say that Bassanio is dead. Nerissa, my lord and lady, it is now our time that have stood by and seen our wishes prosper, to cry, good joy, my lord and lady. Now here, Nerissa is wishing Portia and Bassanio. So she's saying here the time has come and all our wishes have been fulfilled. And she's wishing joy to the Lord, that is Bassanio, and lady, that is Portia. Subscribe to my channel for the latest updates.